For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast is fueled by the Man Shake. I lost 30 kilos in 10 months using this meal replacement shake. If you want to support the show and max in my weight loss journey, or to even start your own, click the link in the description below. The Man Shake. Real blokes, real results.
For the Players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culturist PlayStation podcast for 40 years of playing PlayStation, 8 plus years in that games media combined. I'd like to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials: Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to join us as the conversation happens, you can by heading over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can. You can tell your friends, you can tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on the podcast service, which probably gives a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. Still on sale, by the way. No one's bought anything. Myself included. It's a hard. No one's interested. How are you, Max?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah. What's the news of the last week?
So my mom's down from Queensland, so that's been nice having her down. She's been spending a lot of time with her granddaughter.
Which is well, because originally with the previous lockdown, got moved all around.
Yeah. So pandemic and whatnot, so she hasn't spent too much time with her in the 18 months that she's been in existence.
It's almost like the whole time of the pandemic. That's amazing.
So that was so yesterday we went to the Museum of Play and Art in Geelong. So it's like this big interactive indoor play area for kids. Now we were a bit concerned, so you booked 2-hour time slots. We booked 3 till 5 because I'm like, Hadley usually sleeps between 1 and 1:30ish. She'll sleep till about 2:30. We'll get her up and then we'll go. She didn't sleep.
Oh no!
So we got there at 3 and she's like, "This is
you pinging."
Yeah, so she's pinging. So she was up from 9 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and she was really good. I must admit, considering that she hadn't slept, she was really good.
Yeah. So my son, he will just like ramp up to 15 if he doesn't if he doesn't have enough sleep. Because granted, now he's 4, he doesn't have day sleeps anymore because he stopped them a couple of years ago. But you can tell that he's tired because he'll just start amplifying. I'm like, oh fuck.
But it was funny. So they have these every half hour, 3/4 of an hour. They have these guided activities. So the first one was monster mask making, and they did all this, and they ended it with a big dance party in the big playroom. Mum's like, "Oh, let's go." And I'm like, "I'm not interested." She's like, "Oh, well, I'll take Hadley." Then I'm like, "Okay." Hadley's standing in the middle of all these kids jumping around dancing. Hadley's got her arms crossed, what the hell is going on here? This is ridiculous. So she's staring at everyone. It's she's definitely not kidding.
Yeah.
She's just standing and not enjoying
No
it.
time for dancing. Do popcorn to eat.
But it's pretty cool. So that they've got an under 2s area where it's just for just soft cushion mats they can throw themselves around and not kill themselves. They're this this vacuum wall with all these tubes. You'd put colorful ribbons in them, and you'd see them get sucked up the tubes, and they'd spit out the top and go catch them.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's really cool. For a kid, very interactive. Lots of stuff to do. They can literally play on everything. So yeah, it was good fun.
Well, I'll take James and take Hadley. We'll have a daddy date.
We'll have to have a daddy date and take the kids.
That'd be amazing. It'd be awesome fun.
Other than that, I haven't been doing much. Just hanging out with mum, spending time with family, visiting a lot of people that I haven't visited in a very long time. Nice. Doing all that stuff. Right. What about you?
None at all. So I'm about to head into my week off. So we have, because my workplace with its disability day services does work on a term structure, so there are term breaks. So about to hit next week is the term break. However, I'm working most of it, so woo. So I don't really get a break per se. But that's cool. But my week has just been the same.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on. We were talking about it before we started recording about how streaming on Twitch, because Shane in the chat used one of our old emotes I totally forgot that I made, because it's been so long since I've actually streamed that isn't doing this show.
Yeah.
And I was talking about how it's like, yeah, I'm just not fucking feeling it, man. Like, granted, even right now, in the last like couple of weeks, 'cause even WWE is just not doing it for me, right? So I've not been watching WWE. I've not been streaming. I've kind of just not doing anything. It's like I've had the time to do it. I'm just not doing it. You know, so instead, like, I've just been sitting here and painting miniatures. Like, I painted Magneto, and I've done Beast, and a couple of other more of my Marvel Crisis Protocol minis. I've just been, yeah. So the other night, I joked about it.
So what you're saying is you should be doing arts and crafts streams and just.
Well, I was thinking about it, but normally I
talking
just
to chat and painting minis.
I just sit here and listen to music and paint minis, right? Or I watch something on the telly, and like that entirely cannot be facilitated through Twitch. And my painting ability is insufficient. Is inadequate for a stream. Like, want to watch him paint a mini? Like, he's garbage. Yes, I am.
Yeah, for those not watching, he just dunks them in the paints.
I go, that's good, and then I put some ink on it, and then we're all good. But yeah, so like I have considered that in the past, but normally because it's I sit here, I listen to music, and I you kind of focus on what you're doing, so there wouldn't be too much, I guess, interaction. Well, no, I'm still happy to chat and all that, because I have done it while we've watched wrestling and stuff with the Discord chats and stuff. But I just kind of sit there and and just kind of zone in on something. So I've been finding that it's been really good. I've always known it to be the case, but over the last couple of weeks, I've kind of needed, I guess, that like level of mindfulness. I just come in here, I just sit down, and it's what I would call a quiet room, and I get to just hyper focus on the miniature painting. It kind of nicely clears my head. It's the same level of head clearing that I get after going to the gym as well. So you just kind of come out and there's like no fog. It's just kind of crisp, which is really nice. And then, of course, you have that sense of achievement at the end, and I'm like, that is a badly painted miniature.
Nice.
But no, the other day I made the horrible decision, because I booted up Netflix. I'm like, I haven't actually sat down and watched a series in forever. And then I ended up painting minis while doing it anyway. I was like, I'm going to put on Queer Eye, because I could go some positivity right now. So here I am watching Queer Eye, watching people get their lives utterly changed for the better. Just sitting here sobbing like a bitch, painting me. Like, this is doing so well now. Paint. Using my tears to help water down the paint, Such a good show.
It is such a good show.
Like, if you want just true positivity, like positive energy, it's a tremendous, absolute
You've
tremendous
been watching.
show.
Speaking of TV shows, you've been watching Loki.
No, I haven't. I haven't watched Falcon and the Winter
I still
Soldier.
haven't finished Falcon and Winter Lad.
Yeah, no, it's a
could not care
bird and
less.
seasonal boy.
Literally could not care less.
The first one got me. Like, I was like, this is cool, and then stopped.
I really enjoyed WandaVision. I give zero fucks about Sam's character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I just don't care at all. So I just haven't watched it. I'm like 3 episodes in. I'm like halfway there.
Now, I imagine Loki's dope. I think Tom Hiddleston would be
Loki's
doper.
been really good. Loki's been really good.
Yeah.
Owen Wilson's really good.
Yeah, I forgot that Owen Wilson was in. That's true. Buddy in the chat points out Operation Tango. That's right. He and I were going to play Operation Tango. I just haven't played it yet.
You should. Easy plat.
Easy plat. So
Easy plat.
I could always do it more plat.
Easy plat.
Because with that, like, I've not played shit this week. I've played nothing that I can recall. Like, I reinstalled some games I thought would be some fun streaming games if I do decide to jump back in, because I kind of went back
I think I saw you on one night and you're playing more forest game, more farming game.
Yeah, I have been playing more of Farm for Your Life, because it has been receiving updates since I talked about it last week. So I'll go in there and I'll checking it out, and I'm slowly getting, like, it's slowly starting to come together a bit better. Like, it's update by update, there are little subtle improvements that are making it a better game, and now that I'm getting further, like, it's still not remarkable, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, just as I'm adding new things, and people are starting to come back to the area. So I've got someone working in the restaurant now, as well as the farm, which allows me to do a couple other little things throughout the day and forage a bit more. And as my resources get delegated a bit more around the individuals, it's just about getting enough resources to buy like a chicken. And it's because without it being a clearly money defined thing, it's like a chicken is 10,000. A chicken is, I don't know, 14 corns and a piece of scrap. Like I have 3 scrap and 8 corn. Like that's not enough. Like fuck. Like it's straight bartering system, which is really cool, but it's just like it makes the
Can be frustrating.
Yeah, it just makes the unclear. Like this is more of a fault of the barter system in general, not the game itself, but like the equivalency of what something is worth. You know, I'm sure I could, work out that 1 scrap is worth 12 corn, and then I can probably break it down to if I use the corn as a metric, and then if I wanted to do the calculation, but I don't, so I'm not going to do that. So I downloaded some games that I thought would be of interest, maybe if I did go back into the stream, because one of the first games we ever streamed. Because if I look back on Facebook memories has been, because June and July were when PopC really kicked into gear when we first started X amount of years ago on YouTube. So we obviously did radio, and then we did, but then when we became our own brand again after working with a different company, we went ham. So my Facebook's kindly reminding me of all the games I streamed when I first started streaming, and one of them was This Is the Police.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, I fucking love that game, but I never finished it. So I reinstalled it on the PS5. I haven't booted it up yet. But I'm like, that might be, because it's not too demanding. I can kind of play with the characters like we did last time and have some fun. And obviously, he then talked about it, re-downloaded like Dying Light and stuff like that. And yeah, there's just nothing really jumping out at me at the moment. Like even nothing is majorly releasing at the moment.
It's a bit quiet. It's quiet again.
Yeah, not that I like. Once again, because I'm so used to that forward momentum with there's a new game, the boom, 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 boom. I'm just kind of used to that, and then it's just there is one. I'm like, I don't know what to do. What about you? What have you been playing?
So I've been playing a lot of Rocket League this week. I am back in Champion Division, so that was fun. I was yo-yoing between Champ and Diamond for a while. Other than that, I played a lot of League of Legends. Probably too much. A lot of Destiny too. My grind is still strong. And last night, I was lucky enough to get an email inviting me to the closed beta for Bloodhunt, which was shown at E3 during the Summer Games Fest, I believe. So it was the Battle Royale set in the Vampire the Masquerade verse.
Yeah. I know you've got a hard on for Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, so at the end of their trailer at the Summer Games Fest, they're like, hey, come along to the website, sign up for the beta. If you're lucky, you'll get access. So I got an email yesterday saying you've been invited to the closed alpha. I'm like, cool, no worries. They sent me a Steam code, so I jumped on yesterday afternoon, downloaded the game, booted it up. It's like internal error. I'm like, oh, that's not good.
That's not a good start.
And then I reread the email and realized that the servers went live for another 2 hours. So it was entirely my fault for trying to launch the game too early.
What the fuck is this? Oh, wait, hang on, I didn't read.
Should read all the information provided first. So at 10 p.m. last night is when it unlocked. So I booted it up. On boot up, it does this weird thing of it asks for your graphical setting preferences before you start the game in just like a checkbox. So it's like, do you want ultra, high, medium? I'm like, I don't know how demanding this is going to be.
Games used to do that all the time.
So
it's an old thing.
I'm just going to go medium because I don't know how well this is going to go. My computer's not fancy. I got like a 1070 and it runs most things okay, but I'm also running it on a 4K screen. So I'm like, medium will do. It ran really nicely for a closed alpha. Looks good for now. Obviously, there will be improvements. They've got one of those running surveys of, hey, give us feedback. Let us know what you're doing. Let us know if you're running into any bugs and all that jazz. So when you boot it up, it throws you straight into a game of basically just a tutorial level. Tells you how to move around the world. Explains how so there's 4 factions in the game and 8 classes to choose from. So 2 for each faction. So despite the fact that it is a battle royale, it's also kind of a hero shooter.
Okay.
Similar to that of like Apex, how they all have their own skills. So the one they give you, I can't quite recall what the class was called, but basically its super ability was you could jump really high. It was like a super jump. You could do it once every 10 seconds. And then its class ability was you had basically essentially what is a force push. Okay. So you could push your enemies. So in the game that I played, I think at the moment it is capped to 50 players, but there are also AI-controlled players. So there's AI-controlled humans, which you can feed on, and feeding on humans gives you buffs. There could be skill cooldowns, weapon buff damages, extra health. all of that kind of stuff. And then there's other AIs that are stronger and have their own weapons, and they will kill you on sight. And basically, it's like any other battle royale. You drop in, you get loot, you try and kill as many people as you can, and if you survive, you survive. It does the same thing. It's got a blood mist that comes in that'll kill you if you go outside the blood mist, so it keeps you in that, keeps pushing you forward and enclosing the areas around you. The map's quite vertical. It's basically set in like an old London, Victoria London setting. So you can run straight up walls. You're a vampire, supernatural. You can just go straight up. A lot of the clan abilities are all movement based. So one was the super jump. The character I played was a more stealthy character. So the ability was astral projection. You basically just shoot out a clone and then you can teleport to where that clone lands.
Nice. So
that was really nice. My class ability was I could blind people, which came in useful. So the first round I came in 25th, got 2 kills, and then just got monstered by someone just far superior with a mouse and keyboard than I am.
Yeah, that's right.
Controller support is there, but in the email it's like, hey, it's very early iterations. Be prepared for some bugginess. We recommend playing keyboard mouse. There's no NDA for it, so I can stream it, so I might do that. Have a look. It is only running for this weekend. They haven't announced any extensions or when the next beta will be. But so far, for a closed alpha, I've played about 4 rounds. I haven't run into any bugs. It loads pretty well. Graphically wise, it looks fine. I mean, it's not like Last of Us 2 or God of War, but it is a solid looking game. The mechanics are great. The gunplay feels really good.
So how does it tie into the Vampire the Masquerade?
I think it's purely just aesthetically there.
Just the name?
So I think the clans were in the games. You're obviously playing as different vampires. Yeah. And there's the whole mechanic around the feeding on the humans so it's to gain
purely in I would the overall name.
Yeah, I don't think it's trying to tell a story.
Okay.
I think it's just there for being there.
Interesting.
So that was cool. That was fun.
Actually, I do lie. Speaking of battle royales, I messaged you at one point. I had this. I don't know what made me think about it, but I was like, I think I want to play Fortnite. So I messaged you. I'm like, I think I want to play Fortnite, and you're like, I ain't fucking playing with you.
Well, actually, I replied with, I don't have it installed, and I'm not installing it for you, so you can do with that what you want.
Yeah, and I was like, that's fair.
And you're like, okay, then fuck you then. Okay.
No, that wasn't. The response was more like, that's not what I was asking. I was wanting you to be my voice of reason and be like, no.
I mean, you can play it, but you're not dragging me in with you.
Yeah. So I ended up doing it. I was on my computer. I was like, I don't have it because I've never had it. I think I've had it installed on the PlayStation once. I remember streaming it when we did the 1,000 subscriber stream. So I reinstalled it here on the computer. I did 1 round, and then I got Victory Royale. I was like, oh, this is full of bots in it. All right, closed and done. Installed it. So I got the essential the apparent sense of completion that I needed. I needed that battle royale because, like, you know, there's an adrenaline that kind of comes with it, and I was like, okay, cool. And I'm feeling a little bit of that, cool. And then I came out with the win. I went, cool. Well, hang on, I haven't been back.
I've found that the best time for me personally to play is right on the start of a new season. I play really well at the start of the season when no one knows what the new maps and mechanic is. And then once everyone's had a week to learn it, I just get monstered because I cannot build.
Yeah, I can't build.
I always assume that if they can build, they can't shoot, and as long as I can outshoot them, it's fine.
I can't do that.
But sometimes they just you hit them with one bullet, and then all of a sudden they've built this fucking 4-story castle around themselves, and you're like, okay, cool.
Because I did really enjoy PUBG back in the day. I did have a lot of fun with it. I quite like it as a concept. For PUBG specifically, and because there was no just build shit and hide
Well, see, my biggest thing is I try and play them too quickly because I'm used to playing Call of Duty, which is a very fast-paced game, and you cannot play battle royales like that. Yeah, buddy.
Yes, mate. Oh, is he? Okay. We're recording a show, mate. Can you shut the door? No, but on this chair. Sorry, my son's come in demanding that Batman's on the chair.
But it was just there.
He wasn't sitting in here.
He wasn't in the chair, mate, I promise.
It was.
Just comes in here throwing accusations around.
It definitely
It's not in here, mate.
It wasn't in here when I came in, buddy. Are you sure you didn't take it somewhere?
No, but, I need Batman.
I know you need Batman. You don't know where it went. All right, go out there and have a look with Mummy. She'll help you find it. Can you shut the door, please? Thanks, mate. I have a lock on that door now, and I forgot to do
Maybe
it.
that's why my ass is so sore. Batman's up there.
He's deep in there now.
He's deep in there.
Deep in there. But yeah, because for me is I don't have that speed.
Yeah.
I've never really had this because even like
I've super realized after playing Rocket League all week that I have super old man reflexes now.
well, because you and I have talked about this 1,000 times probably since you come on the show. Is like you and I used to play Call of Duty back in the day, and even then I was shit house. This was like 10 years ago. I was trash. So I've only gotten like progressively worse. Where like in terms of when it was a team of because we would fill a lobby of half of us, right? And it was always another person we played with, Will, at the time. So he was always last. Then there was me, and I would drift between whatever the next two was, depending on who someone else had a shitty round. Yeah. Like, I was never in that top. And it was always you and Spono at the top. And then Noodle. Noodle, and Spono were the three at the top.
Yeah, not anymore.
I'm
very hardcore at the bottom.
So, obviously, those Twitch shooters, I'm not very good at. And I do like the slow burn of PUBG. I did like that, the whole idea of that Battle Royale with that sudden uptick in intensity.
Try Escape from Tarkov.
That's kind of what inspired it, actually. I was watching friend of the show and fellow Manshake ambassador, Tim Pink, so Uber Timmy. He was playing Tarkov. I'm like, this looks dope. This looks like...
Now's a good time to jump into. They just had a server wipe, so everyone's back to basic gear. Oh. Now it's like, if you were ever going to try it, now's like the perfect time to try it.
Oh, maybe I will. Well, why not?
Because I think the server wipe happened like 2 days ago. So...
But yeah, so that's because I was actually watching him play Escape from Tarkov. I'm like, it kind of looks like my shit. Because it's slow, it's plotting, it's a little bit planny, but you still got to like...
I can't stand it. I fucking hate it.
Cass says don't do it.
Yeah, we lost a lot of our friends to Tarkov now that the wipe happened.
Oh.
They only like playing for a couple of weeks after wipe, and then once everyone gets good gear and they get shit on, they don't like playing.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so yeah, I got my sense of accomplishment because look, the honest answer is I did get a little bit sold on the Kratos and the Aloy skins from X a while ago. And now granted they're not available anymore, but
they do still rotate in.
I know they rotate in and out. And
Loki's a character at the moment.
Yeah, I kind of want to buy it just for that.
It's a subscription, like it's like the Fortnite Plus. You have to pay for a full month of Dingo to get Loki.
It's like I said, even though I don't play, I just kind of want the Kratos and Aloy ones. That's all I want. And it's only because I know I can't have them. It is a mad FOMO is the only reason that I have it. But other than that, I've not played anything else either. So that made me think of it with the Blood thing. So yes, so Blood Hunt, it has potential.
I'm enjoying it, yeah.
All right, beautiful. All right, before we get into the news, let's talk about the section where it's called our Get Less Fat update, where, in 2020, I lost now close to 35 kilos using a product called the Man Shake. It's a meal replacement shake, which is great, which I'm an ambassador for. In 2021, Max jumped on his weight loss journey as well, and he's been doing the shake. So each and every week, we do our Get Less Fat update as a way to keep ourselves honest, to keep ourselves accountable.
Spoilers, Max did not get less fat this week. Mum's been down.
Are your mum cooking?
No, Mum cooked once, I think, but I've cooked a bit. But Mum's a snacker, and that has not helped.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's
been a week of like peanut M&Ms and some Turkish delight here and there, and the old no one can be bothered cooking. Let's just go out and eat somewhere.
Look, I have fallen into a similar trap which is the reason I got fat earlier was food as a coping mechanism. So I've fallen back to that a little bit recently, and I've really got to break it. Like, granted, I've not gained any weight or anything. Like, obviously with the shakes as well as the exercise, I've still been going to the gym and whatnot. I've obviously balanced it out I've emotionally eat just enough to keep the exact balance. I've not gained any weight or anything. It's just kind of like bang. But I'm like, I gotta break that shit. So today, funny enough, now because as we talked about, my original plan was to do the My Muscle Chef meals and then do nothing but as much cardio as I can on per day at the gym to try and get through those extra kilos. Today, another batch of it arrived. The gyms aren't locking down, at least in the next week. So I'll be able to kick that back into gear. Plus, with the week off work, or week-ish off work, a couple of days off work, I might be able to get that back into gear. Give that another couple of weeks. And see where I go from there. I just feel like I need it. Part of me just needs that. I feel I need to get that little bit more. Like, don't get me wrong, 35, like near 35 kilos is a fucking achievement.
Yeah.
But I just kind of want to go a little bit more. Because essentially what I've done is I've replaced one eating disorder with another one. So, you know, my brain's not letting me until I do more of the weight loss side of things. So, it's exciting times. But if you want to support Max and my weight loss journey, or maybe even start your own, there is a link in the description. It's bit.ly/FTP Manshake. If you go there, just by clicking the link, you support the show. You don't have to buy anything. Just clicking it is always helpful for us. There's also birthday cake shake. It's nearly run out. So have you tried it yet?
I tried it last night. I said it was great. And I tried to order some, but it wouldn't let me.
Oh, that's
but they're not sold out. So it must have just been like a form error.
Yeah, I ordered 3 of those bastards after you did.
When I tried to check out. So.
Another bell. Anyways, let's get in the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, Max, this week, like, we've gone a couple of weeks, E3, relatively quiet, not a whole lot went down. And then
Sony wasn't there.
Sony wasn't there. Like, hey, Sony, we rang them, we knocked on the door, and they're like, they're not answering.
The lights are on in their house, but they're just ghosting us.
Yeah, exactly. They were treating us like door knockers, like Jehovah's Witnesses, where they're just like hiding in the other room and like, I'm not paying attention. They're like, hello.
Like, if we don't talk to them, they'll go away. Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much what they were playing. Like, if we don't talk to them, they'll go away. So, in the Tuesday night for us.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
So Tuesday night for us, out of the blue, they just went, hi, here's a bunch of information. And we're like, okay, well, we have until Saturday to record, so this is good for us. But
for once, the breaking news didn't happen like 2 minutes after we finished recording.
yeah, so don't get me wrong, like, we've been for us filming on a Saturday, there's not a lot of breaking news happens across the weekend. No. So by the time that show airs on Monday, which is still a Sunday in the US, very rarely do we get really shafted with delayed news. If anything, we might just get to news a little bit later than everybody else. But friends of ours who also run PlayStation podcasts, they record on Tuesdays. In the afternoon / early evening, both got fucked by this news. Yeah. So I'm like, not us. And like, how dare they announce this news 3 days after we recorded our show? But that's not the first thing we're talking about. That's the big thing we'll get to a little bit later. Max, you want to start on something interesting?
Yeah, let's talk about indies on PlayStation. So Sony is once again under fire for its handling of independent games on the PlayStation Store. Ian Garner, co-founder of publishing label Neon Doctrine, said he's, quote, mad enough to burn some bridges. So without ever explicitly referencing PlayStation, Garner does rule out both Nintendo and Microsoft.
That's certainly not Sega.
No, or Atari. In a Twitter thread, the Simulacra publisher flames Sony for its poor promotion of smaller titles and its reluctance to allow external organizations to manage their own products. Quote, Platform X gives developers no ability to manage their own games. In order to get promotion, you must jump through hoops, beg and plead for any level of promotion. And a blog post is not as good as they think it is. If Platform X doesn't like your game, there's no fanfare, there's no feature, there's no love. There is nothing you can do to fix this. Wish lists have zero effect, so all your personal marketing means nothing to Platform X. All that matters is their own evaluation. Garner claims that developers aren't allowed to offer launch discounts, quote, without Platform X's approval. And goes on to suggest that the organization charges $25,000, I'm assuming that's in US, in order to secure a featured spot on the PlayStation Store. Platform X is super successful and awesome hardware, but their back-end process is straight out of the early 2000s. I have no idea how to succeed on this platform, and they won't tell me. Even if I do succeed, they may screw me anyway. Next time you're unhappy about your game never being discounted on Platform X, or a game you really want not launching on Platform X, please go on and complain to Platform X. It's not our fault.
See, there's a couple of things here that I love, but also love because it's something that we've known about for a while. PlayStation has, like, they've supported indies, the ones that they've chosen to support, but anything else has been treated pretty garbage. And then on top of that, like one of the things that we've discussed in many, like the back end must be trash. And to hear from someone being like, it's trash. I'm like, yes, beautiful. Like, you know, it's because as we know, like, you know, with the original PlayStation, the PSN, the original PlayStation Store was an inbuilt browser. You had to go through the browser of the PS3, and then it became an app. So, like, clearly it's built on old ass framework, old ass, you know, and then hence another reason why I imagine they wanted to fuck off PS3 and Vita was so they could focus more on 4 and 5 and ideally create a new background. And everyone, this is presumptuous, of course. And the idea of everyone fighting to keep those systems alive, if anything, just ensured the shitty system would continue on for longer. Once again, presuming that they were going to correct it, which is, there's nothing stipulating or proving that would be the case. But like, see, this is the thing. See, I browse the store at least once or twice a week. I will boot up. I'll go look in the new releases. I'll see what's around. I'll kind of dick about in there for a little while. And I'll see, what's coming. Like what's upcoming is always trash. There's no clear thing. Like, you can go and look in the pre-orders for games that have pre-order availability, but there is no place to just see, hey, these are games that are coming. It's almost like they get approved on the Friday and then they release on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, unless they are a game of prominence, you're not going to appear in the upcomings. Or if you were to go into your new release games and order it by release date, or so new versus old, new to old. I see a handful of, like, your big ones, and then there's a couple of lower ones in there as well, but it's coming out in the next week to 2 weeks. It's another reason why I go in there, because I go in there and I check the PS5 store, what's coming. I check the PS4 section in version of what's coming up to release. I check what discounts are available to sort of get my eyes across what's coming, and maybe there's a couple games I want to check out that are cheaper. That's kind of my old plan. But I am not the average user.
Yeah.
Like, just me explaining what I do, that is not the average process.
No, not at all.
So, how do you use this? Well, because once again, I think we are different to it. But like, I've been using the wish lists, but it also hasn't. It's neither proved to be beneficial or hindering to me. It just exists.
Yeah.
But how do you use the store?
In all honesty, very rarely. I log on the store weekly when the weekly sales reset, and I will have a look at what's on sale, and that's about it. Yeah. I don't wish list anything because, like, the only program I've ever used for wish lists is Steam, and because Steam's like, hey, stuff in your wish list is now on sale. Do you want to buy it now? And I'm like, okay, I'll do it now.
Like, I will spend $4.
But that's what the wish list is for. I find that anything that I ever want, it very rarely goes on sale. So
yeah, I do find that too. And it's very interesting on top of that as well, because like there are some weird games that you would see have PS Plus discounts on launch. Like, why do some games have that and some games don't? And there's your answer. It just seems to be some sort of internal algorithm that you aren't privy to. Not saying that by them not providing that information of how the backend system works.
I don't think I put it in the story, but from what I read, basically the sales portions are invite only. Yeah. You have to wait for them to approach you and be like, "Hey, we're doing this big sale. Do you want in?" And then you can discount your product on the PlayStation Store.
That sounds familiar too, because I did hear there was another podcast. I think it was we talked about him here because I'm a big fan of Colin Moriarty and his PlayStation show, and as he is one of the co-owners of Lilymo Games, which has done Harbroxia and Twinbreaker. I think he did the same thing. He talked about how he essentially can't put on sale even if he wanted to. Like there is this. He didn't go into this specific detail, but it was more of a. It's not as easy as you think it is.
And then you look at the other platforms, especially Nintendo, and like they've got so much vaporware these days.
But I think it's
just flooded with everything and anything.
That's the weird line, right? Like, I'm not so PlayStation have in the past been that place where you can just dump shit.
Yeah.
And like that's what we see. So if you if you open up PS3 and you look at just the themes, or the PS4 themes, there's just a series of absolute trash.
Like, at what point does curation become? What's the word I'm looking for? That's not
Like
segregation.
exclusion.
Yeah. What at what point are you curating it too much that there's nothing there to?
See, I would argue that curation is good because when I open up, like, one of the reasons I don't play my Switch is because I don't play my Switch. But two, when I go, I don't browse the store there because it's so much garbage.
Yep.
And curation is important, and Steam is an example of why curation is important. If you want another comparison, right?
Steam is a very good comparison for curated. For a lack of.
Yes. So I appreciate them doing this, but what this gentleman Ian Garner has talked about isn't curation. It's just putting roadblocks in.
Yeah.
Now, it's one of those, whether they are sort of designed to prevent people from just shoveling shit on there.
But it's
like, we put enough hurdles in there, people will just fuck off after a couple, and then, which is great for shitty games.
Yeah.
But if there are dead set indie developers that just don't have the fiscal support to be able to get through it.
But I wonder if these roadblocks are only there for independent games. Because you look at some of what should have been AAA titles, like I'll use Cyberpunk for example. No one checked that.
Cyberpunk was the exception to the rule because the conversation was they gave them the gold certification without actually seeing and or checking it.
Yeah,
they went based purely on their opinion, and I would imagine that safeguard has been removed. No one. I would like to think no one has that special privy, will take your word for it, which it kind of disgusts me that existed in the first place. Like, everyone must be gold certified with minor exceptions. Like that, I am not a big fan of some rule for some and some rule for others. That nothing can fuck me off more than that, personally.
So yeah, it's a shame because obviously in the past, what was it, PS3 era, they were pretty good with indies.
They were great with it. It's like what helped launch the PS4
independence
was
kind of like
indies.
disappeared from PS4 for the vast majority of the early life cycle of the PS4. There wasn't anywhere near as many independent games.
Like, there was a little sprinkle at the start, and then it kind of got real
There was
quiet.
the big guys in the independent. The big guys in the independent scene, they were obviously still doing what they do best, but there wasn't any of those hidden gems that you would kind of stumble across because they just weren't there, which is a shame. Hopefully it's not going to be the same for PS5.
Yeah, it's we'll wait and see, I guess, because there's not a whole lot's coming out to PS5 at all in general, really. So we'll have to that is a big old we'll wait and see. Speaking of, we'll just have to wait and see. The Last of Us TV series is looks like it's starting production. So in a photo posted to Instagram by Gabriel Luna, who's playing Tommy, alongside the co-stars of Pedro Pascal, who's playing Joel, and Nico Parker, who's playing Sarah, with the trio in a car, it seems like that filming is underway. That is right. They also announced in that same moment that Nico Parker is playing Sarah, Joel's daughter.
So we all know where
out
that
of
scene's
nowhere,
going.
bingo, bam. So we know. So and we know she's not going to be in the series for long. Sad news. Filming. Oh,
she's in the opening credit scene.
yeah, that's it. Filming is set to take place in Calgary, Canada, with no release window attached to the show just yet. But seeing picture proof of the stars coming together means that it is on the way. So I did find it very interesting that they've just dropped and Sarah's here. I was like, what? So it kind of adds to that original idea that they are essentially doing the game itself, almost not a beat for beat, but at least they're trying to set it up that way.
Killer makes a good point in the chat that it wouldn't surprise them if Sarah continued to be in the show via flashback.
See, that would be cool.
Maybe we'll
actually
get more backstory of Joel before shit hit the fan.
I kind of like that, actually. Kind of like that a lot. From let's add more to the character, because we talk about prior to that we don't know a lot about Joel, and then we know at that moment, and then what happened once he meets Ellie. So like there are essentially
some gaps in his
Joel's
history
Jesus years are missing. What do you mean? You know the whole idea. We hear about Jesus as a baby, and then he's fucking 32. You mean what happens in that time? Who knows?
What happened in that time was the PSP store closed. As of yesterday, the 2nd of July, the PSP store is no more. As reported by VGC, Sony has updated the messaging on its official site, which now states that you can still access PSP software via the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita. Quote, you'll still be able to purchase and play PSP content that is available on the PS3 and PS Vita stores, the site says. So while you won't be able to access the PlayStation Store from your PSP to buy new games, you can still buy them via PlayStation's other systems if you have them. It also looks like games themselves aren't going anywhere. So, yay, I guess.
I
have like half-assedly closed the store.
Yeah, well, the PSP's this does go on the back of that original announcement. You know,
they were shutting down the Vita, the PlayStation 3 store, and the PSP.
Yeah, and the PSP store had sort of been just like cut at the knees a little while ago anyway, so it was death rattling its way to where it is today, and that's just disappointing, but also like not so really. So, you know, that's right. But who needs the PSP store, Max, when new things are coming? So this is essentially one of the big stories of the week. Sony has acquired this one is not as big as the other one. We'll go with this one first. So Sony has acquired Dutch dev Nixxes, Nixxes, I think it's like Sixes Nixxes, a long-time collaborator of Crystal Dynamics. Effective immediately, they're located somewhere in fucking Dutch area. Tech specialists will join the PlayStation Studios technology, creative, and services group to quote, provide high quality in-house technical and development capabilities.
You're right.
The PlayStation Studios. I'm having a stroke in installments. I'm having little bits here and there. Nixxes has worked on games like Marvel's Avengers and Rise of the Tomb Raider, and it is particularly familiar with the PlayStation 5 platforms, having handled ports of the games to the PlayStation 5 and PS4, as well as PC. Quote, I highly respect Nixxes and am excited for this very experienced team to become part of the world-class development community at SIE, said PlayStation Studios boss Herman Holst. They have a passion for improving games and for delivering the best possible experience for gamers. Nixxes will be a strong asset for everyone across PlayStation Studios, helping our team focus on their most important goal, which is to create unique PlayStation content at the best possible quality, end quote. Nixxes is widely considered to be PC port specialist and will likely contribute toward PlayStation's larger strategy of bringing more first-party titles to Steam and the Epic Game Store. But its long lineage of 20 years in the industry will also make it an asset when it comes to assisting devs releasing their titles and ensuring they're as polished as possible. So we'll jump into the next one in a second. But so what's great about this, as you've written here, Max, these guys will help bring first parties to PC. Because using an example of Death Stranding was ported by 505, I believe. So rather than outsourcing to someone, they can do it internal. So the Nixxes will become essentially a big support studio.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I took from that. Is they're just going to be the support crew. If anyone needs help, they're gonna be like, hey, we can fill the gaps while you need to. So
from a cost like perspective, rather than forking out some external, you got these guys here and they have. When it comes to ports or, things like this or sort of support as a support studio, you will find your jack of all trades in there. Like, you're like, hey, we have this really specific issue. Someone like, someone there will probably be able to, presumably, be able to help you out, right? Like, because you've got that wider range of skills. And yeah, as we've discussed here on the show, like having games come to Steam is great. And if you can do that with no external costs, that's a win. Yeah. And if anything, that will only inspire them to take more steps into bringing first-party games across.
Yeah.
Which, once again, is certainly a good news. But if we want to talk about, more releases, more games, in another acquisition, Housemarque has joined the PlayStation Studios family this week too. Confirmed in a PlayStation blog post, PlayStation Studios boss Herman Holst explains how the studio is capable of making titles that resonate with the PlayStation community. Excuse me. He didn't cough in the quote, by the way. Quote, this edition enhances the creative force of PlayStation Studios, and I cannot wait to see what the future holds for Housemarque, end quote. Ilari Alari Kutanen, co-founder and managing director at Housemarque, also adds, quote, "We are also excited to finally join the PlayStation Studios family. This gives our studio a clear future and a stable opportunity to continue delivering on gameplay-centric approaches and while still experimenting with new methods of narrative delivery and pushing the boundaries of this modern art form. Locally here in Helsinki, this also means that we will officially expand the PlayStation Studios family to a growing industry hub and secure the legacy of the oldest game studio in Finland." Kutanen then adds that Sony's purchase of the company allows Housemarque to grow further in stature and show what the team can do without any limitations. Quote, "We can't wait to show everyone what will be in store in the upcoming years, and we hope to usher in more lasting memories and exhilarating titles for the next quarter century and beyond."
I'm really stoked that Housemarque have been pulled into the family, essentially. I think they now realize that Arcade is not dead, and now that they've got significantly deeper pockets, they can really experiment and, you know, take the risks that they probably couldn't before when they were still an independent studio.
I completely agree with you. So this is probably one of the ones that, like, for as long as I've been doing this show, for the long as, you know, Housemarque have become prominent, especially in that, you know, PS4 space, they have worked almost exclusively with PlayStation. The only one that went to other platforms was Next Machina, right? So like there is a relationship there, and what I would presume would be a very strong one. So it's interesting it's taken this long to get them, and I think the assistance of Returnal put them across that line. But you are 100% spot on, because there was a window of time where Housemarque were genuinely concerned about their future, where they were looking at getting into the battle royale space and no longer being able to make the arcade style games that they're best known for. And you are spot on. By being part of the PlayStation first party studios, presuming they're not being overseen or super micromanaged, they have the luxury of, we will not crumble as a studio if we make these decisions.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that is a massive, massive security. Like, there's a massive, like, relief off their shoulders.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Knowing that they can make those cool creative endeavors. And because what Housemarque do, they don't make what other PlayStation first-party studios make.
And on the back end of how well received Returnal was, I think that they're going to be, or I hope to see them be more ambitious.
Yeah.
Now that they've got that security net.
I completely agree. Whether that be just making a bunch of small little creative endeavors, but then also have their like a big piece like your Returnals, but then you're making cool little Rezo Gun-esque style games. Like, why the fuck not, right? Like, I imagine the pressure would be to make big things, but if they can make small arcade and bring some bit of sneaky more money here and there, this is not from just a acquisition standpoint. Like, for me, I look at this as a massive potential to add diversity and to the PlayStation family.
Well, like you said, they bring something to the table that no other PlayStation studio is doing. Yeah. So they're filling their own gaps in their
portfolio.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. That's right.
Having a blank.
But you are spot on. Like, so even though Returnal is a third person, over the shoulder third person, it doesn't fit the mold of the others. They're taking what PlayStation are known at and fucking with it. And I think that is what needs to happen moving forward. They need to add that spark, to add that change. And I think these are the guys to do it. And if we can remove some of the financial shackles, or even the creative shackles, because when you are we see this even from big studios like your Activisions or whatever, right? They make the decision based on financial investment, financial return. So creativity does get pushed to the side when you have to worry about the stability of your studio or more about the money that's coming in. And I do believe that's where PlayStation has the advantage. Like, and we've seen this previously with the likes of Sean Layden and how he's delivered his idea of first-party studios, and I think we have seen it a little bit in the early days of the PS5 and late days of the PS4 and transition to Jim Ryan, but I think it was kind of that rolling effect, is that they have not been given the you must make X because that's what we need. Like, they're not saying, they previously weren't saying we need you to make a yearly Assassin's Creed, a yearly Call of Duty. The only we are seeing hints of that with these Last of Us remakes and Uncharted remakes, but previously it looks as if that they're like, what cool shit can you make us? And that's the conversation rather than you need to make us the following. Yeah. So with that in mind, that's how I see that conversation going with Housemarque. Like, cool, Returnal was dope. What do you got? What else you got? And that's what I'm excited for. Shane in the chat adds, most exciting thing about the Housemarque acquisition is the fact that XDev can now divert attention to other third-party partners, keen to see who they work with next, and also stoked as Housemarque has that security now. 100%. With XDev no longer needing to work with them as that second-party consultant, fucking A. Like, that's amazing. So XDev like, oh, your first party now? Sweet. All right, we're going to go work over here instead. I didn't even think of that. Because I almost thought they were kind of like just work with them in like the minimalist fashion anyway. But yeah, no, that is a great redistribution of resources. Fucking hell, I didn't even think of that. Thank you, Shane. Yeah, damn.
Let's talk about some PlayStation Japan leaks, Ryan. So earlier this week, when Sony officially announced its acquisition of Housemarque, an image mistakenly uploaded by PlayStation Japan seemingly confirmed that the recent Demon's Souls developer Bluepoint was joining the family too. Yeah. The picture utilizing the same style as the one of the aforementioned buyout, including Returnal's protagonist in it, suggesting that this was slated to be revealed after the Housemarque release. The image was highly suspicious. It wasn't an error because additional effort had been invested into designing it. And if Sony has marketing materials ready to run, then perhaps it's fair to assume that the deal is done, or at very least, almost done behind the scenes. However, the remaster specialist has poured cold water all over this speculation. In an update to its Twitter profile, it now stresses that it's, quote, a fully independent, self-funded studio, end quote. It also added the same language to a bunch of its recruitment listings, despite not being there before. Why would they go to this kind of effort if the acquisition talks are already at such a late stage? They literally updated all their marketing going, no, we are us. We are owned by no one. Yeah, we are completely self-sufficient, independent, self-funded. Ain't nobody taking us.
Well, I feel like, just like to talk about Housemarque, I probably have a lot more to say. So I'll let you go first.
For the longest time, there has been rumors that Sony have been looking at acquiring Bluepoint. We've said in the past that Bluepoint should be an easy acquisition for them. It makes sense. You look at Bluepoint's past remaster works. They've done Shadow of the Colossus, PlayStation exclusive. Okay, PlayStation exclusive. They did Demon's Souls, PlayStation exclusive. Just bring them in already. It makes sense. But apparently, they want to be left alone.
Do they, though? Look, for me, I read this as, yes, this was meant to happen. Maybe not today, maybe not on that day, but this is something that is certainly in the conversation. Yeah. Like, it's very likely that they are in that...
Yeah, they did... Sorry, just to cut you off, Kilobyte adds they did the Uncharted collection as well.
I was about to throw that in there too. Bingo. So, so for me, I look at this, I'm like, yeah, this was meant to happen. This wasn't meant to happen, obviously, announcement, but I guarantee you it's on the cards. Or at least in such a far level conversation that the announcement could be relatively imminent.
Yeah. Especially if they've got these marketing images ready to go.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Because it looked exactly the same as the one for Housemarque, where they put Selena in with the rest of the protagonists, and then right next to Selena was the
Dark Souls dude.
The Demon's Souls dude.
Yeah, Demon's Souls dude.
Like,
so
ready to go. I was like, ooh.
Like, it's very possible that the Housemarque news may have been locked in a month ago or something, right? So the marketing is, because they don't make it and release it straight away.
Of course.
There's a lot of steps that need to go through in order to get the copy approved, etc. Right? So I imagine that has been in the past. They were like, cool, we've made this, and then maybe they're still not quite there on the deal, but they're preemptively making the stuff. Yeah. I've made a ton of random shit through Photoshop or whatever here that will never see the light of day, right? Just because I've made cool shit. I've had ideas and I've put things together and I've made them. And I think it's the same idea. They're like, hey, this is what's happening. These conversations are going on. Can you preemptively make some of these things in case it goes this way? So it is a little bit of a benefit of the doubt of whether it will or will not happen. But it's one of those things that when what I'm saying here, and this is what Shane adds in the chat, that you don't just make that shit without a reason.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm not paid, because it's my own business, I just make shit for no one.
Yeah.
But they've had to pay someone to make that. Now, granted, it'd be pretty easy to put a Bluepoint PNG in the same spot as a Housemarque, right? Not that hard. Then you've got to add the extra divider in. There's a little bit to it. There's a little bit more to it than that. Either way, someone got paid to make that.
Yeah.
Once again, the discussions that we've had before about Bluepoint is a tremendous purchase, an absolutely brilliant purchase. Once again, not from a first-party potential release, as in what they can bring. For them, it is
It reopens their backlogs.
What it does is it creates a legacy studio that has the skills and the ability to take old code and make it new again. And when we in the world of gaming and game culture, we love the past. The past is so important to everything that we do. We look back and we're like, oh, these games that we loved and we want them to return. If you have these guys in-house, we will see awesome stuff coming, right? And for me, once again, if we want to talk about a correct spread of resources, that's the shit. You bring them in. So you free up XDev. You have these guys and they can do whatever you need them to. They can work in support services. They can
I was going to say you can bring them in and they can work on The Last of Us remaster, and it opens up Naughty Dog to do what their next thing is. It opens up I know Ben's not doing it anymore, but Ben wouldn't have been put in that position of you need to go over here and work with these guys on a remaster because we've got these guys who that's their bread and butter.
That's what they're fucking good at. Yeah. And I really do like one, very similar to Housemarque. You have a collection of people with really good specific expertise. Like not to shit on Microsoft, but if you look at their collection of, it's not really shitting on them. If you look at their collective studio house, like 24 studios or whatever, there is a lot of overlap. But they also cover a lot of different genres, and I think that's the key. Yeah, because you've got car racing, you've got this and that and that, and PlayStation have that, and they're starting to expand to that. And in the same way that when we look over at like what THQ Nordic are doing, and the Koch Media Group, where like they are now buying not just game makers but IPs, not just IPs. Sorry, they're buying publishers, and they're buying marketing teams, and they are expanding that of that potential of what they can deliver. And once again, I would consider Nexus and Nixxes as well as Bluepoint within that space. Yeah, definitely. They're not going to make the next like Last of Us 2 level intensity, but they are going to make the overall. In order to hold up your big, massive stuff, you need a brilliant foundation, and the likes of Nixxes and Bluepoint add more cement to an already solid foundation that can help prop up and redistribute things in order to make the PlayStation first party family even better again. I can't wait for it to become official because it's awesome, and all I can hope with it is because off the back of some news that you're about to talk about, I'm about to talk about. That means that this means that we could get the thing that we need, the thing that we want. Metal Gear Solid remake. Oh yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
they did that too.
They did Twin Stakes, didn't they? So they already fucking know what they're doing. It's a big win. But Shane also adds, I'd expect an announcement next week. Seems like they're spacing announcements out so no one acquisition overshadows another, which is also not very PlayStation. Because on the release of on the day that Concrete Genie released, they announced a bunch of PS5 news. They're really good at just fucking burying other bits of news. So that seems very un-PlayStation to me, but I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, if they want to, I do like that they've given it at least a little bit of window between each, rather than just being like, hey, here's 3 studios that we've acquired, because granted, Housemarque would get the run on that news. Bluepoint would probably get the second most headlines from it. No one's going to notice Nixxes. Yeah. And, I like that because so Housemarque's obviously the big one first. Everyone's like, hey. Then next, everyone's like, oh, because I did the same thing. I'm like, I've never heard of these guys, and I started googling and grabbing information where I could, and if I had Housemarque day, Nixxes day, Bluepoint, I wouldn't have looked into Nixxes at all. So if that is their strategy, it's 100% the right move. But speaking of Metal Gear Solid, by the way, so Konami, they're back with some of the new partnership, and it's not what you think, but it is, but also not really. It's pretty melancholy.
Just get the bad news over with already.
So Konami has officially begun a partnership with Layers of Fear, Observer, and the Medium developer Bloober Team. And this will see the two companies share, quote, development of contents and the exchange of know-how, end quote. This news only further fuels heavy speculation that Bloober Team is working on one of the next entries in the Silent Hill series. Earlier this year, the developer said it was working on a horror game with a, quote, very famous gaming publisher, end quote, and Konami fits the bill. And now, here's confirmation that the two parties are, in fact, working together. What? P-I-O-T-R. Peter?
I think it's
It's Peter now. Peter Babino, Bloober Team, that's the most Australian fucking name, like Peter Babino, Bloober Team president said, quote, it is a historic day for me and the culmination of several years of our work. The fact that such a renowned company as Konami has decided to strategically cooperate with Bloober Team means that we also joined the world leaders in gaming and became an equal partner for the leading players in this market. End quote. Konami representative, director, and president Hideaki I'm blind. Hayakawa. Sorry, the text is zoomed not as in as it normally is. Then adds, quote, we look forward to combining Bloober Teams and our respective characteristics and strength to create high quality contents with an S, end quote. Video Games Chronicle, the original source of these claims, has also expanded on the speculation today by stating one of the Bloober Team's project is indeed related to Silent Hill. However, BGC understands that Konami has already outsourced at least one other Silent Hill project to another prominent developer in Japan. So, this does add smoke to the fire to the original smoke. The Bloober Team were working on Silent Hill. This has been a rumor mill for the very, very longest time. I remember you and I both going, why? Because apparently the medium wasn't very good, and you played it.
I played the medium. It was
not very good.
I think I played it for like 15 minutes and went, this isn't for me. I know a lot of people who got much further and then just their game just crashed and they couldn't progress any further, and it was rough. I played Observer. I really enjoyed that. That was their
and Layers of Fear. I don't remember being that positive either.
No, Observer was that. What's that? That futuristic sci-fi.
You've not narrowed it down.
Blade Runner-esque game. It's Blade Runner. I'm thinking of, right? Blade Runner's the
movie, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's that aesthetic in a game.
That's like so many of them. You need to give way more information.
No, I can't.
Okay, cool.
Observer was that, but the medium Xbox timed exclusive is coming to PlayStation at some point.
Yeah.
So when I first heard this news, I'm like, is this just going to be a timed exclusive for Microsoft?
But Bloober aren't a Microsoft team.
They're not.
They are a third-party team who were contracted in a second-party capacity to make the medium for Microsoft. So, what does this mean? Does this mean Microsoft are going to get a Silent Hill thingy? No. It's very possible because there's that working relationship, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
Yeah.
If anything, what they're demonstrating here is in true Silent Hill fashion, the next game in this series is going to be trash. So, since Silent Hill 3, I quite liked 4, but from Silent Hill 4 onwards, they have demonstrated that they just make shittier Silent Hill games, right? Like, so if anything, Konami, keeping with tradition, shout out to them. But I'm not. This actually doesn't make me super hopeful.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
For whatever Bloober are going to be working on when it comes to Silent Hill, and especially off the back of this whole Blue Box Games thing about them working on Silent Hill, this has put a massive dampener on that whole conversation. It's really changed the perspective around what Blue Box and that are doing. And if anything, for me, it just makes me look at Blue Box and go, oh, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting to see what Blue Box release when the time comes, because they're going to be...
So it's appeared, you can now... It's appeared on the back end of the PlayStation servers. It's like a 1.95 gig application. You can see it. You can wishlist it.
They're going to be judged very harshly, I think, because they've definitely...
It's already began. Like, they've already seen people shitting on them on Twitter.
Yeah. They started their hype train off in the wrong direction. Yeah.
They based on it's essential. They picked up on what was essentially misconception and then ran with it. And to me, that is no different to the likes of No Man's Sky and Sean Murray.
Took too long to try and rectify that issue.
Well, they tried to rectify it, but then they went, hey, here's hints. It's not that. But here's more hints in the exact same vein. Like that push pull approach that they were having in order to to put out the flames while also ignite the flames at the same time. And that is going to hurt them so bad. So bad. If they are in fact a real studio, if Mr. Karaman is in fact a real person. I believe that the actor was a person, but whether he is a person.
It's just a deep fake video.
I have heard that actually. I did see one of them, like, it's all a deep fake and here's why. I'm like, all right, now you fucking calm down. Right? You're right. Like that's a little bit too much into the fucking tinfoil hat area.
All right, let's talk some quick bits. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. More Director's Cut games coming out.
What the fuck? Is that the future of PlayStation right now? We're going to get Last of Us Director's Cut, Medieval Director's Cut. Like, is that...
So the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut is set to launch August 20th. It will come with the expansion of the Iki Island, which was rumored to be a standalone title. There are upgrade paths for PlayStation 4 owners to upgrade to the Director's Cut version of both the PlayStation 4 version and PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 version will have DualSense support, as well as, and they listed this as a PlayStation 5 feature, proper lip sync for the Japanese audio.
Cool. I imagine that's 100% actually a pretty cool thing.
So also, as a free update, the multiplayer mode of Legends is also getting a new mode.
Ooh.
So that's exciting. The upgrade path looked fairly cheap. The prices were listed in USD, so obviously ours will be a bit different.
Yeah. Although you upgrade to the base PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima, you do have to pay for, I think, the upgrade or the Iki Island stuff.
You can go straight from the PlayStation 4 version to the PlayStation 5 Director's Cut.
Yeah.
It's like, it was $39.99.
So there is a direct.
There is a direct one.
People are going to shit themselves. Like, you need to pay me, because once again, what they have done is the gaming system itself has created this prerequisite, this what's what I'm looking for? Like this not prerequisite. What's what I'm looking for? An expectation, right? That we're like, but everyone else gives me the upgrades for free. Why don't you give me free upgrades?
But the thing is, if they were to sell...
Precedent, that's the word I wanted.
Yeah. But the thing is, if they were going to sell this Iki Island expansion as a standalone expansion, you'd pay $40 for it anyway.
Damn right you would.
So all you're doing is really paying $40 for that part of the game.
But the sell here is it's the PS5 version of Ghost of Tsushima Plus.
Yeah.
That's the sell. And that sell, for those that aren't willing to look at that extra step or just want to be pricks about it, will be like, but the Avengers gave it to me for free. Like, yeah, but the Avengers sucks.
Well, it was funny. I was having this conversation with friend Noodle, who platinumed Ghost of Tsushima. He's like, I wonder if I do it, will I get another plat?
Oh, Spider-Man did.
And then he's like, I also won't have to use the disc. And I'm like, I guarantee you'll have to have the disc in to play the PlayStation 5 version.
Yes, they uses it as your...
like a DRM checker.
Bingo.
Because he's like, well, it doesn't for Destiny 2. And I'm like, but Destiny 2 is technically free for everyone, so it doesn't matter. So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, but it is pretty cool. I know Zill in the chat, take my money.
Yeah, Zill, Mr. Take My Money, who doesn't finish single player games, said to me today, I should really finish Horizon before the new one comes out.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I've still never finished it. Maybe I should play that. Maybe I should stream that. Maybe that's what I should do.
I am.
I should just get in there and stream that.
Speaking of Marvel Spider-Man, though, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales has received a new performance mode, increasing its ray tracing performance.
Ray tracing is already dope. How much?
They Ratchet and clanked it,
Oh,
I believe,
so like
for lack of a better word.
all the little details.
Yeah. So they pimped it a little bit more.
I jumped to the next one because these two connect. So
What?
jump ahead one.
Jump ahead one.
Yeah.
Oh, you want the in typical internet fashion? That one?
Not the one before it.
The Bioware one.
Yep.
So Bioware will be skipping EA Play later this month, so don't expect any Dragon Age 4 or Mass Effect news.
We're never hearing shit about that. And then down one.
And then, I see
then
what
go
you
back
want.
up.
Yeah,
and
okay.
then- yeah.
In typical internet fashion, there is currently a petition to cancel Hideo Kojima's rumored Xbox exclusive game. A lot of the comments are from angry PlayStation people saying,
Musclusives!
after Sony gave you so much money for Death Stranding, how dare you betray us and leave?
Yeah.
Basically is the sum up. Last I checked, there was 70 signatures.
Hi, people of the internet. Ryan, Max, host of a PlayStation podcast. You're doing
It wrong.
You're doing it wrong. It's cool to love a platform. We love a platform. I'm a big fucking fan of a platform. But stop doing what you're doing. You make us look bad just with your inability to be a functioning human. Can you just stop. Okay, just shut the fuck up. Like, it's really easy. Like, shut the fuck up.
PlayStation.
Sincerely, Max and Nick.
Us. PlayStation Plus version of Greedfall will not upgrade to the PlayStation 5 version for free. Only people who bought the game on PS4 will get the free
that
upgrade.
makes sense. Yeah, that's fair. I was like, what the fuck? I was just talking about PS5 upgrades a second ago. That makes sense.
And PlayStation Plus titles this month are A Plague Tale Innocence on PlayStation 5. And the two PlayStation 4 games is Call of Duty Black Ops 4 and WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Yeah. So, as I said on Twitter, it's the list is interesting because I hate mice and rats. I think they're gross. And I also believe that wrestling games that are shitty and full of microtransactions are also gross. So, it's not the best month for Ryan. I will 100% take up Plague Tale Innocence.
I think that should be your streaming game this month. Is A Plague Tale Innocence.
Just watch me have a panic attack on camera. When does it switch to the
Tuesday.
PS5 version?
Tuesday.
All right.
It launches on the 6th.
Cool. I might do that then.
So I think Tuesday.
If I was smart, I'd hook up a heart rate monitor and watch me just fucking freak. Because I hate mice. Hate them.
It's a really cool game.
Yeah.
I've played the first few
Look,
chapters, but
spoilers.
I'm looking to...
I know about what happens at the end. I know that there is a large event involving many, many mice in a natural occurrence.
in a natural occurrence.
And that fucking makes me freak. And then when I saw the trailer for Requiem and it's literally a rolling wave of mice, I thought I was just going to die then and there. So, might have to stream that because I think that would be just like watch a man have panic attacks while playing fucking a mouse game.
At least it's not in VR.
Oh, fuck. Don't do that to me. All right. So here are the top 10 best-selling PS4 games in Australia for the week ending the 27th of June 2021. Number 10, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. Number 9, Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. It was fucking free, people. Why is this in the charts again? It was free. Why are you paying for it? Number 8, God of War. Number 7, Little Big Planet 3. Number 6, Gran Turismo Sport. Number 5, Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. Number 4, The Last of Us Remastered. Number 3, Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 2, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. And number 1 is EA Sports FIFA 21.
You can really tell that the PlayStation hits were still on sale.
Yeah, no, there's the sale going on right now. It's pretty fucking dope. I've gone in there and I almost bought the Tomb Raider for like $3.
I almost bought something purely because it was $20 down from $150. I'm like, well, that is such a good deal.
Yeah, so like I've got in my cart at the moment, I have the expansion pass for Twin Point Hospital. I have, because it's added a whole bunch of cool shit. Escapist 2 has a bunch of DLC, but it's not in my cart. But I'm like, I haven't gone back to it, so I won't buy the expansion stuff just yet. Tomb Raider Definitive Edition for $4, because I played that originally on PC, and I'd want to be able to go. I want to go back to it at one point for $4. It's fucking amazing. And Rebel Cops, which is a spin off to This Is the Police. We're all about being dirty ass cops, which I kind of like. And that's like $7 or something. I'm like, yeah. And then did I tell you, like, was it that last week or before, did I talk about how I just rocked out and rock band in the I
saw the tweet of we should have a rock band night, and then I didn't get invited, so I because
I didn't invite anyone, it was just me and my kitchen. It was me with
I just
headphones.
assumed that it happened without me, so I just
So I went in and just downloaded a bunch of songs.
Nice.
So there was all these ones that I've missed. I was like,
I mentioned to Ali the other day that I'm going to try and acquire an acoustic guitar and see if I can teach myself how to play guitar by gamifying it with Rocksmith Plus.
Oh, you in?
Yeah.
Well, because didn't we make that pitch like...
I think you made it, and I think I am curious enough to see if I can learn something by gamifying it.
Challenge accepted. When Rocksmith Plus comes out, we'll make
Sorry
it happen.
to audio listeners who just got blasted. Yeah.
All right, well, let's do it.
So this is the section also when Max also normally tells you what's coming out, and I had a look, and my sources say that it's one game, so I really need to work on something better.
We need to find a
better source, because there's definitely
Push Square give us the games that came out the week before,
yeah,
but we want to look the week ahead, and that's the only catch for us.
Also, I heard that Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 is rough on Switch.
You fucking think?
For a 2-minute run, apparently it takes like 10 seconds to load into a level. So if you want to restart the level, it takes up a good 10% of the.
I'm so surprised that the games are still releasing for the Switch. Like, stop it, man. The thing's underpowered. Like, so hard. Stop it. You're just making your games look bad. That's all you're doing.
Oh, also this week I should have at the top of the show I ordered an Xbox.
Fucking dork.
So
I'm on the hunt for because look, what I'm seeing here is a repeat of Josh Saunders. So I'm going to give it about 6 months, not even, then he will want to leave because he's too busy playing Game Pass. So this is where I announced that I'm looking for expressions of new hosts.
Expression of interest.
Expression of interest. Those are looking forward to it because I know he's going to fuck off now. Because he just won't care about PlayStation anymore. So just put it out there.
Calm down.
Interested. He'll just be like, but my Game Pass. How good is Game Pass?
I mean, it is pretty good.
It's fucking.
You
good.
really can't.
So
Can't say. You really can't say this.
No, but it just makes it very hard to run a PlayStation show when all you talk about is your fucking Xbox.
Hey, come on! I always talk about PlayStation stuff. Do you remember at the start of the show when I said I was playing League of Legends and Hearthstone? Fuck you. Mister, I didn't play any games this week.
It's true, I didn't play any games this week.
All right, everyone.
Big thank you, everyone, for joining us once again. Thank you, everyone that came on Twitch and had a chat. We love having you guys come through and had to add a little bit of extra to the show. Because one of the things we used to do back in the day was that Kumquat is happy to watch me have panic attacks.
No, I was going to point out where the fuck's Park.
Where the fuck is Puck? God damn it. That's right. Hopefully he listens to this later and he's like, I'm sorry. But no, look, one of the things that when we first started the show, like way back in the day, we really wanted like a talk. It was a section called Talk to the Players, where the idea was people would submit questions and we would answer them and discuss them. And I would like to return to that at some point. So maybe, we can reopen that. If you guys are interested, anyone that is watching or listening or here in the chat, because I used to put out a tweet or a message on the couple of days before and be like, hey,
socials,
what is something that you want us to talk about? What do you want our opinion on something, our thoughts on something? And then it kind of dried up pretty quick. So I kind of stepped away from it. And I think that the chat here on Twitch can help with that and sort of get that integration back in. And I think it has by having you guys, jump in and help us out. But we would love to have that in there because maybe there's something that we didn't cover in the news and for some reason you want our opinion on it. If you guys are keen, let me know and we'll open that back up.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to do that again because it was always fun. Because it doesn't even have to be PlayStation related. It can be gaming / anything really.
Oh, and one last quick bit. It's heavily rumored though that Grand Theft Auto 6 will not release until 2025.
Yes, that makes sense. That's what happened.
And that it will apparently feature a constantly shifting world map
Like
akin to that of
Fortnite
Fortnite.
It makes both single player more, sure. If it's all multiplayer, who knows? Anyway, but yes, big thank you everyone that does come and join on the Twitch and help make the show better. It is a ton of fun. Like I love doing the show, and I would do it if no one watched anyway. But we really appreciate you guys coming, listening, getting involved. It's I can't thank you enough.
Mirrored what he says. It's good to have people, fact check us.
Oh yeah,
It's really helpful,
That
so we
part's-
don't have to pull something up and kind of put a halt on the show.
Yeah.
And getting extra opinion. Like who was it earlier in the chat who mentioned about
Shane with the
the-
XDev
the
stuff, just to
XDev
add
stuff,
little sprinkles of details that we
Yeah.
haven't considered, which opens complete new thought parts, which is good. Paths. What have
You're
we-
a mess, Ryan.
Fucking hot. Yeah, fucking gross.
We're recording on a Saturday. Just wait until next week. Next week is Sunday, everybody.
Oh, after wrestling
Ryan
too.
has inconvenienced everyone by wanting to go out. So
All right, yeah. Oh, sorry. Those that don't know that are on Twitch, the next 2 weeks are Sunday shows because I have wrestling on Saturdays for the next 2 weeks.
all right, everyone. I'll wrap this up. This PlayStation conversation happens
Only now.
every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our socials. Give us your questions. Give us your thoughts on some of the stuff that we do or you'd want us to cover. Leave them on Facebook. Talk to us on Discord. Add us on Twitter.
Or email
and
us.
do whatever whatever Instagram does. I don't use it. You'll deal
Or you
with
can
him.
email us. So it's mail as in MAIL. You can email MALE and it's fucking answer.
Won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Won't go anywhere.
Mail at thepopculturist.com. You can email us directly. Or Ryan at Max at. You can email us directly.
Yep.
If you want to as well. For those who don't like socials, which is.
All those links can be found in the description below.
If you want to support the show, yes, if you want to watch the show as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures like these many people have and the beautiful people have, where you can become part of the show and do it all live. And so I threw myself out again.
That's what happens when you change up the script.
Fuck.
You change the script the tiniest bit and you just...
And apparently
So-
I'm just like, I'm just having brain fog. I'm
on, man,
like a
improv.
motherfucker.
Buy our shit, support us.
If you want to support the show, tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on podcast service, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the players.
you don't have to buy our shit.
You don't have to. It'd be cool
It
if
is
you,
on
though.
sale at the moment.
It is on sale.